Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kapows Arcade Adventures. I cannot believe we are just a couple of ways from Christmas. I don't know what happened in the fall. For that matter, I don't even know what happened in the summer. You know, I had a really busy kind of fall and summer doing stuff with my family, obviously doing work, and just trying to get back and look at previous footage that I had filmed over the last several months of different arcades that I've been able to go out and visit since I got back from my vacation in Oregon in the last 3 videos I had a chance to put out. Now, in this adventure, we're actually kind of taking a little bit of a step back to the spring when a group of my friends and I had an opportunity to head up to Allentown, Pennsylvania for this past year's PinFest. Now, while we were there, we had a great time at PinFest, played a lot of fantastic pinball machines, met up with a bunch of other collectors and friends while we were in the area, and had the opportunity to head over to South Mall, which is in Allentown, PA, to visit Back to the Arcade. Now, Back to the Arcade is a co-owned, it's a father and son and uncle operation. It's owned by Mark and his son Wyatt Payton and their uncle Joe Childs. Now, Joe also happens to be an arcade and pinball distributor down in Maryland. He owns Arcade Game Sales of Maryland. So if you're looking for a pin or a vid and you happen to be in the Northern Virginia, Delaware, Maryland area, you could go ahead and go on their website, check out their inventory, and go ahead and arrange to get your purchase kind of taken care of. The beauty of Back to the Arcade being partnered with their actual distributor, who's a family member, is while we were there, we had an opportunity to play a lot of really nice pins, many of the modern Sterns that were in the premium kind of edition that they had there on the location. I loved this particular arcade. Growing up as a child of the 80s and experiencing arcades in the mall and actually getting to go to a mall that they are trying to revitalize and put an arcade back into it was very, very resemblant of what it was that I experienced as a kid in the 80s, even when I worked in the mall and we still had an arcade there. So please go ahead, sit back, relax, check out what Back to the Arcade has to offer, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So after you come into the South Mall here in Allentown, and you kind of proceed through it and walk down one of the actual hallways or concourses, what you're going to come up on is Back to the Arcade. Now, I'm a child of the 80s. This is exactly how I remember arcades, being in the mall, not like a Dave & Buster's. And here you've got a great kind of recreation of that experience. Now, Back to the Arcade is a all-day free play style of arcade. It's not tokens, it's not quarters. You actually come on in, it's $20 for adults, $15 for 18 and under, and you can play for as long as you want. Now, they are open until 8 o'clock each night. They're kind of tied to the mall schedule, so it's not like a late night destination, but if you have the time during the day, after the mall opens until 8 o'clock at night, Monday through Sunday, you can come on down and get your game fix on. So as you kind of come in, one of the things that you're going to notice immediately, which you guys hear me talk about this all the time in my videos, is the decor is off the hook in this place. I mean, he has got autographs, movie paraphernalia, arcade game paraphernalia, toys, movie posters, band posters, everything that you can think of, he's got in here. And he went all out with the way that they've decorated. Everything from the carpeting to the colors to the little tchotchkes that you kind of see all over the place really make a great experience. Now, it's got a very, very good collection of modern pinball titles. Some of the most recent stuff that's come out. You've got Foo Fighters, James Bond, Jurassic Park, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Munsters on one wall, and then on the opposing wall, you've got Led Zeppelin, Rush, The Mandalorian, and Godzilla. After you come in, they do have the Stearns Insider app up and running, so you can see your scores as you record them. You come on inside, they've got a redemption area where you can buy different prizes, based on what you get back in redemption tickets, as well as some snacks, and a couple of the other larger games up here in the front area. You gotta love Super Chex or Bubble Chex Hockey, newer version of Seawolf, and then a couple of the other bigger racing games up here in the front. It's amazing. Mark was telling me that they opened the location 2 years ago with his son. He used to be a bail bondsman and decided not to retire and kind of came up with the idea for the arcade. Everybody wave at Del from Delusionals Arcade. Del's here with us. some really great stuff up on the wall. Like, he was telling me that he's been able to collect all of these actual autographs, you know, from the different actors that appeared in movies like Jurassic Park, Back to the Future. You know, you can't have an arcade without Back to the Future references in it. Got some additional pins over here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, another Jurassic Park, South Park, Pinball Wizard, The Who's Tommy, Pennant Fever, Gottlieb's Freddy's Nightmare on Elm Street, and then one of my personal favorites that I've been on the lookout for. You either love it or hate it, as I always say. You've got the Star Wars Episode 1 in the Pinball 2000 cap. They've got a really, really nice setup for a skee ball area. Not only do they have the skee balls, but they even went to the extent of painting one here onto the wall, which I just thought was a really kind of neat decoration. As you go through into the room in the back, they do have a party room area. I love the barn-style doors that kind of segregate or split the rooms up if you want to have more than one party here at a time. Storage area, office space. It's got a really nice balance of like some of the more modern stuff, shooters, pinball, 4-player games, some more modern stuff from the 1990s, and then as you kind of get into the back area here, like I said before, man, the decorations are just fantastic. The colors, decor is really what does it for me a lot of the times. You don't have to have a ton of games, but if it's just bare walls with games shoved in there and you call it an arcade, it really just does not give itself the experience that I tend to look for when I approach one of these locations. I love Operation Wolf. It's one of my son's favorite games. They used gaffer's tape and paint that's reactive to the UV light to kind of recreate, you know, asteroids in the back. Love it. Defender, Robotron, Stargate, nice selection of Williams games. Entire row of pack cabinets, Miss Pac, Super Pac, Pac, and Pac-Man Plus. Xevious. I love the cabinet, you know, the way that Atari designed the cabinet with the colors and the graphics. It's kind of one of those complete package games for me. Scramble, Zaxxon, Dig Dug, Cubert Cubes. You don't see that often. Double Dragon. I love the Twilight Zone kind of display that they have in the back area here. Track and Field, Centipede, Galaga, Burger Time, Bud Tapper, Cubert. Surprised he doesn't have it with his Cubert Cubes across the way. A couple of Nintendo cabs. You got both Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. Nice big claw machine here in the back. The Raw Thrills Jurassic Park. So again, a little bit of a modern twist. This is really nice. He has a carnival cocktail, and the way that the graphics on the underlay are kind of reacting with the UV lighting, I don't know if that was intentional or just it happens to kind of happen because of how the graphics were put together, but I think it looks fantastic. Galaga cocktail. Sea Raider. We were just talking about this the other day. You know, I would love to have Seawolf, Sea Raider, U-Boat, Depth Charge, and Destroyer all in a row. I think it'd be a really neat thing to have. So having a couple of these Bronze Age era things in here in this arcade, again, it's a really nice mix that he's put together. Asteroids, Space Invaders. There's Troy Gibby Gibbs, my good old buddy, partner in crime. Congo Bongo, Frogger, Ladybug, and everyone's favorite, Outrun. So, nice balance of games, great mall location. You can see employees actually out cleaning games on site. You know, I love seeing stuff like that. They're taking care of the pins play fields, taking care of the games. It really shows that the arcade is doing what it can to keep its games in operation, keep the customers happy, so that you want to come back and play more and get your game fix on. So I hope you guys enjoy this quick walkthrough video. If you're in Allentown, please take the time out of your schedule to come on down to South Mall and come back to the arcade. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Back to the Arcade as much as I did. And for that matter, as much as the group of my friends that I had with me did as well. Now, the decor was fantastic. The staff was super helpful. The ladies that worked the front desk were super nice. And overall, I just really enjoyed my time there. And being able to kind of pair it up with being in town in Allentown to go to PinFest and then actually kind of step away from pinball machines and go play some vids, as well as pins that they had there on the location, it was a great time for all of us. And I will definitely be going back. So if you're in the Allentown area and you're wanting to kind of get your game fix on, and if you've never experienced a true arcade in the mall as it would have been back in the 80s, you can do no better than going down to Back to the Arcade at South Mall and checking it out. So until next time, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you haven't already done so before, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure.